Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the ZIMRA webinar hosted by M&J. My name is Jerry Moyazungu, the chartered vendor. I hope, thank you for our panelists from ZIMRA. I've got Mr. Knowledge Chirangaza, and I hope his panel is going to also join very soon so that we can debate on the hot tax issues. I've got a lot of information, a lot of messages coming in. People are finding it difficult to access their tax clearances. The withholding tax was increased from 10% to 30%. All these issues are going to be answered by the ZIMRA team. Mr. Knowledge, welcome to the ZIMRA webinar. How are you?
Thank you so much, Mr. Nyatsongo. How are you this morning? Compliments of the new season.
Compliments, thank you so much. I think you can proceed. Is your team joining, or you can start the presentation earlier, then they can join later?
I'm sure they are joining. Most of them I've spoken to them. They are joining now. Yes, I can start the presentation, then they can join in later.
Great. You can take the floor, Mr. Knowledge. I hope everyone, if you are not hearing us properly, just show by maybe raising a hand or via the message. I can see all your message. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nyatsungu. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to share my presentation. I don't know, Mr. Nyatsungu. I'm trying to share my presentation, but it says here host disabled participant screen sharing. I don't know if I can be made a host from that end.
Okay, let me do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you can now go ahead.
All right.
Can you share now?
Okay, let me try and share now.
So as you'll be sharing, welcome to the ZIMRA webinar. We just want to educate each other to make sure that everyone is on the right page, or we're on the same page concerning the new tax issues. And if you want clarification, the ZIMRA guys are here. The tax collectors are there. They are there to address your questions. So you can prepare your questions. In the next segment after the presentation, we are going to take questions from everyone who is attending this webinar.
Can you confirm you are seeing something on your screen?
Confirm, Chief. Yes, we can confirm there's something on your screen. Yeah, we have got the presentation now. We can see the presentation.
All right, thank you. So without further ado, let me just introduce, I think Mr. Chikwanda has just joined. I'm sure Ruramai is also, Ruramai Mukwenya from our help desk is also joined the webinar. And I'm sure there are still 2 or more officers from this end who will be joining us in this tax webinar. Compliments of the new season to our valued clients. My name is Knowledge Chirangaza. I'll be your host or your presenter from Zimbabwe Revenue Authority. I will be taking you through the snapshot of the Finance Act number 7 of 2021, which became effective on the 1st of January 2022. So you realize that there were some changes in terms of the thresholds, in terms of legislation, and there were various acts that were amended. We've got the Value Added Tax that was amended, the Income Tax Act, the Finance Act, the Capital Gains Tax Act, and the Revenue Authority Act. But we are not going to look at all those areas, but we're just going to look at the Finance Act, the Income Tax Act, the VAT Act. Let me just go straight to my presentation. So as for me, my motto is we succeed with integrity, not with corruption. I'm for zero tolerance to corruption, because corruption is everyone's issue. So what are we going to look at in this presentation? The contents of our presentation, the contents of this presentation, basically, like I mentioned, we're going to look at employment income tax, the business income tax or corporate income tax or income tax rather, the value added tax and the administration part of it. I'll go straight to the the Income Tax Acts, just like I mentioned earlier on that there were various changes in these acts, the Income Tax Act, the Capital Gains Tax Act, Value Added Tax Act, Finance Act, Authority Act. So as an introduction, the 2022 national budget was presented November 2021. And the Finance Act number 7 of 2021 was gazetted on the 31st of December 2021. The Finance Act made various changes to the Income Tax, VAT Act, CGT Act, Finance and Revenue Authority Act. Remember, all the changes that you see in the acts are done through the Finance Act. So the major changes or areas of change include the pay-as-you-earn, capital gains tax, and VAT. Basically, we're not going to look at capital gains tax. That one will organize another workshop to discuss capital gains tax on its own. So basically, today we're not going to focus on capital gains tax. So significance is that monetary amounts in the acts were reviewed to include equivalent foreign currency amounts. Remember, there was an outcry with some taxpayers where they were saying we don't have credits in US dollars, where they were saying we don't have a threshold in for VAT in US dollars. So those were some of the changes that we're going to discuss in this tax webinar. So to start off, we're going to look at employment income as usual and pay as you earn. So pay as you earn tax-free threshold was increased from 10,000 RTGS dollars to 25,000. This is with effective from 1 January 2022. So what it means is from 1 January 2022, if you are earning between 1 cent and 25,000 RTGS dollars, you are taxed, but you are taxed at 0%. Then the payee tax-free threshold in United States dollars was also increased from 840 to 1,200. This is with effective from 1 January 2022. The highest tax rate remains at 40%. So the highest earners, there was no change for the tax bracket. They will be taxed at 40%. Then the tax-free bonus was increased from 25,000, which is an equivalent of 320 United States dollars, to 100,000, which is an equivalent of $700. This is with effect from 1 November 2021. So the bonus, I'm pretty sure that you tax the employees using the new threshold of 100,000 or 700 United States dollars, because remember it was with effect from 1 November 2021. Just a summary of the Zimbabwean tax tables for 2021 and 2022. On your screen right now, on the left is 2021 tax tables. Then on the right is 2022 tax tables. So you realize that in 2021, up to 120,000, it was taxed at 0%. Please take note that these tax tables that are on your screen right now are annual tax tables. They are not monthly tax tables. And if you so require that you need the monthly tax tables, you can visit our website on www.zimra.co.zw. Then you can get the monthly tax table, weekly tax tables, fortnight tax tables. They are there on one sheet on our website. So you realize that in 2021, up to 120,000, it was taxed at 0%. Then up to 300,000, it was also taxed at 0%. Then you can follow through the tax bands on your screen, but they are annual tax tables in Zimbabwean dollars. Then I also have got the foreign currency tax tables for 2021 and 2022 on the screen right now. Realize that there were some changes, just like I highlighted earlier on, that up to 840 United States dollars, you'll be taxed, but you'll be taxed at 0%. Then up to 1,200, that's in 2022, you'll be taxed at 0%. That's annual tax tables. So if you also want the tax tables for monthly, fortnight, weekly, you can visit our website and you can obtain the same. So there was also some changes on the director's fees. Remember, the directors, the non-executive directors, were obliged to register with us, obtain a tax clearance, so that they won't be charged the 10% withholding tax. But there was a change there. The definition of remuneration now excludes any amounts paid to non-executive directors. All amounts earned by the directors as remuneration are now subject to withholding tax at the rate of 20%. The withholding tax is now a final tax. This is in accordance with the Income Tax Act 13th Schedule Para 11. So the change was effected by the Finance Act Section 15. Then we also have got the fringe benefits with regards to airtime. Remember, we are living in an abnormal environment where we've got this pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, where employers are now giving their employees airtime and data, probably to work from home. It has been observed by the authority that this is actually a benefit to the employees. So there was a survey that was done last year just to check how the employers are doing it. You realize that the taxman has realized that if you are being given data to work from home, there is a benefit that arises if the data is not solely used for work. So there's an apportionment now whereby if you are given data, the 70% will not be taxed because it goes to the employees' work, but the 30% will become a cost to the employer. So taxation of data and airtime, the deemed benefit is paid the 30% of the cost to the employer. Then we move on to the retirement package for 2021. There was also a change in that Income Tax Act, third paragraph, para 4P, with effect from 1 January 2021 to 31 December 2021, where the retirement package was reviewed in Zimbabwean dollars, the exempt portion shall be the greater of 400,000 or 1/3 of the package up to a maximum of 2 million. Where the package was received in foreign currency, the exempt portion shall remain unchanged at 3,200 or 1/3 of the package, whichever is greater up to a maximum of 15,100. This is for 2021. So you realize that in 2022, there were some changes where it says with effect from 1 January 2022, these amounts were reviewed as follows. Where a retirement package is received in Zimbabwean dollars, the exempt portion of the retirement will be the greater of 1,300,000 or 1/3 of the package up to a maximum of $4,875,000. Where the retirement is reviewed in foreign currency, in foreign currency, the exempt portion of the package will be the greater of 10,000 or 1/3 of the package, whichever is greater up to a maximum of $37,500. Please take note of the changes in the retirement package, especially for 2021 and 2020. Then we also pension deductions. Deductible pensions contribution is paid at 390,000 or 3,000 United States dollars per annum. This is Finance Act number 7. There's a schedule at the end of that act. I'm sure we've got the Finance Act number 7, which we are going to share at the end of the presentation with M&J Consultancy. We move on now to the motoring benefit in Zimbabwean dollars and in United States dollars. So there were some changes there in terms of the deemed cost of 2021 and 2022. So just like prior years, when it comes to the deemed motoring benefit, we use the engine capacity. So we start with up to 1,500 cylinder capacity. In 2021, the deemed benefit was 54,000, but in 2022, it was changed to 81,000. Then in 1,500 cc to 2,000 cc. In 2021, it was 72,000. Now it's 108,000. And so on up to over 3,000 cc. It moved from 144,000 to 216,000. Take note that the changes on the deemed cost in 22 is with effective from 1 January 2022. Now we move on to the motoring benefit in United States dollars. Just as the deemed benefits in Zimbabwean dollars, we use also the engine capacity. The deemed cost in 2021 for up to 1,000 cylinder capacity was 675, but in 2022, it has been reduced to 625 United States dollars. Then over 1,500 cc to 2,000 cc, it was also reduced to 830 from 900 United States dollars. Then over 2,000 cc to 3,000 cc, it was also reduced from 1,350 to 1,250. And over 3,000, remember that figure, 9,800 for those people who drive big cars. It was 9,800 last year, but it was also reduced this year to 1,660. I think that's a welcome development to those who drive big cars. Then we move on to the credits for 2022. I remember in the prior years, since we started the Zimbabwean, the US dollar amount currency era, we did not have the credits in United States dollars. But now we now have credits in United States dollars. So on your screen right now, the elderly credit in Zimbabwean dollars is 117,000 RTGS dollars. Then in 2022, now we've got the credit of 900 United States dollars. Take note that these credits that are on your screen right now, they are annual tax credits. So if you want to get the credit for 1 month, you divide by 12 to get the credit for that month. So the physically and mentally challenged is still the same figures. You realize that our credits, they're just uniform for elderly, physically and mentally, and the blind is just a uniform figure. Then for medical expenses, it's $1 for every $2. I'm sure we all know that it's $1 in every $2. Now we move on from employment income to business income. Some call it corporate income or whatever, but we move on now to business income, where we are going to be looking about where we are going to be looking at the changes that were introduced in 2022. So credit for employment of physically challenged persons. There's a new credit in the block for the physically challenged person. So with effective from 1 January 2022, a credit of $50 or equivalent will be granted per month for employing a physically challenged person upon satisfying the following condition. So where it says $0 equivalent, I'm sure we just use the interbank rate to convert the $50 to come up with the figure in Zimbabwean dollars. And the taxpayer shall provide medical reports from government hospital providing disability of employee. Also, these are the conditions that you need to satisfy for you to claim that credit. So you must be tax compliant. By being tax compliant, it implies that you must be up to date in terms of your payments, in terms of your return submissions, and in terms of master data, in terms of fiscalization, if you are registered for VAT. Then comply with Social Security Authority, National Social Security Authority, which is the NASA regulation. Then the tax credit will only be claimed after the employee has served a period of 12 consecutive months. So this is the new credit on the block. Then the credit for employing, we're just moving on with the same credit. The commissioner shall not refund any excess credit if the credit exceeds the tax payable during the year of assessment. Such excess credit shall be carried forward to the next year of assessment. I think it's self-explanatory there. Where the taxpayer is in assessed loss during the year of assessment, the credit shall be added to the assessed loss and the amount is carried forward to the next year of assessment. It's quite self-explanatory there. For the purpose of this credit, employee exclude a trainee, an intern, an apprentice, a managerial employee. Managerial employees include supervisors as well. So take note of the exclusions there when it comes to an employee. A trainee won't be regarded as an employee to claim that credit. An intern, if you've got an intern or an apprentice or a managerial employee, which is the supervisors, they won't be included in that credit. We move on now to allowable deductions with effect from 1 January 2022. Donations in respect of the following expenditure to hospital operated by the state, a local authority or religious organization was reviewed to 100,000 or United States dollar or Zimbabwean dollar equivalent. So if you fall in that category of a state, local authority or religious organization and you are operating a hospital, there's an allowable deduction. This is in accordance with the Income Tax Act Section 15 R1. So if you purchase of medical equipment, construction or extension of maintenance of a hospital or procurement of drugs by the same institution. We move on now to special initial allowance. This is in accordance with Section 4, the fourth schedule, paragraph 9H. Remember the special initial allowance of 25%. This amendment is done to correct the anomaly, because all along people were claiming the special initial allowance, but there was no legal backing. So this amendment is there now to correct that anomaly. So the rate of special initial allowance was last amended in 2013, and taxpayers were allowing special initial allowance at the rate of 25% per annum without any legal backing. With effect from 1 January 2014, any subsequent year of assessment, the rate of special initial allowance is paid at 25% of the value of capital expenditure that includes industrial building and machinery. So this takes effect from 1 January 2014. So this amendment was done and with an effective date of 1 January 2014. Then we move on to exemptions. An amount of interest received from a deposit with a financial institution for a person above 55 years is now 3,000 or Zimbabwean dollar 390,000. An amount of interest received from bankers' acceptance amount for discount instruments for a person above 55 years is now 3,000 or 390,000. If the interest is received partly in Zimbabwean dollars or United States dollars, the interest shall be taxed as if it was received in United States dollars. Allowance received by councillors in rural district councils also falls in that category of exemptions. This is in accordance with the Income Tax Act Schedule Para 10(1)N and or you realize that the allowances received by councillors is just separate from the above, where it says interest received from a deposit of by a person over 55 years. So this is in accordance with 10(O). So allowance received by councillors and rural district councils is now exempt. We move on now to the most bone of contention, I think, in the streets and in the corridors, which has withholding tax on contracts. The definition of contract threshold was reviewed from 80,000 to 130,000 or 1,000 United States dollars. The rate was also increased from 10% to 30%, and this is with effect from 1 January 2022. The threshold is for the year of assessment. So please take note that the 130 RTGS dollars or the 1,000 United States dollars is for the year of assessment, which we believe is from January to December, but there are some who have got their year of assessment probably, which ends probably in June. So it applies in that instance, but we have to check now on that one before we can validate it, because it depends now. Because look, if we've got 80,000 in 2021, now we've got 130. We need to confirm the modalities on that one. But what we believe here is from January to December. That's 130,000 or 1,000 United States dollars. So please also take note that of the increase in the rate of withholding tax. If someone does not have a tax clearance, you are supposed to withhold 30% as opposed to 10% from the prior year. So this is in accordance with Section 8 of the Income Tax Act. Then we move on to IMTT. There are some transactions which are not subject to intermediated money transfer tax. So the transfer of money involving a transaction other than one mentioned in the foregoing paragraphs, if the value of transaction is 1,000 Zimbabwean dollars or below, or 5 United States dollars or below. This is in accordance with Income Tax Act 30th Schedule Para 1, Finance Act number 7 Schedule of reviewed amounts. Then the flat rate of IMTT provide that if a single transaction in which the tax is payable is equivalent to or exceeds 60 million Zimbabwean dollars, a flat IMTT of $1,320,000 shall be chargeable on such transaction. Or the threshold was increased from 44 million to 60 million, and the tax increased from 840 to 130. 1,320,000. So take note of the cap there. If someone is transacting 66 million and above, the cap will remain at 1,320,000. And also take note of the change of 500,000 United States dollars, a flat intermediated money transfer tax of 10,150 United States dollars shall be chargeable on such transaction. Take note of the changes of the flat tax in terms of the United States dollars and the United States dollars. We move on now to presumptive taxes. There were some changes in presumptive taxes for those transport who are into transport business. Omnibuses with a carrying capacity of 8 to 14 passengers. In 2021, it was 2,500, but in 2022, it's now 4,065 Zimbabwean dollars per month. Take note of the figures of the changes in the figures, and they are per month. Then from 15 to 24 passengers in 2021, it was 3,000. It was moved to 4,875. And also take note of the threshold, of the new threshold in 2022 per month. And take note that this are for per vehicle per month. Let's move on to presumptive taxes on hair salons, restaurants, bottle stores, cottage industries. On your screen right now, if you check, there were some changes in 2021. It was for hair salons, it was 2,500 per share per month, and in Zimbabwean dollars. Then in 2022, it's now 4,065 per share per month. Then restaurant and bottle stores, it was 10,000 per share. 10,000, and now it's 16,250. Take note that is per month and per restaurant or bottle store. I'm sure we are going to share the slides so that you can also go through the thresholds. Let's move on now to informal traders. The definition of informal trader here, it says means an individual who carries on a trade for his own account from which he derives a gross income of less than $780,000 or 6,000 United States dollars, and he has not in the most recent year of assessment for which he could have done so, furnished their return in terms of for the assessment of the income referred to in paragraph A above. This is in accordance with the Income Tax Act 26 schedule, paragraph 1. And there were some reviewed amounts in terms of these self-employed professionals. So for self-employed professionals, we mean architects, engineers, legal practitioners, health practitioners, and real estate agents. There were some changes from 2021 and 2022. So we've got the ZIMRA thresholds. In 2021, it was 250 a month, but in 2022, it's now 406,000. For legal practitioners, it was 500,000. Now it's 812,500, and so on. Like I mentioned earlier on, we're going to share the slides so that you can also go through the figures. We move on now to value-added tax. There were some changes in the value-added tax. The definition of a tax invoice has been amended to a fiscal tax invoice. This is with effect from 1 January 2022. So we now talk of the fiscal tax invoice. And the fiscal tax invoice shall be provided by registered operators and printed by a fiscal electronic register or fiscal memory device. Then tax invoice generated before 31 December 2021 may be claimed not later than 31 March 2022. So for those who want to claim refunds, the grace period has been extended to the 31st of March 2022 for those who have got invoice written tax invoice and not fiscal tax invoices. So you have to claim them by the 31st of March 2022. Then after that, if you have got a tax invoice, you won't be able to claim that refund. No import tax shall be claimable without a fiscal tax invoice. So this was done through the Finance Act number 7, section 23, and it was amended. Then we move on again, still on VAT. The thresholds for VAT was reviewed from 4.8 million to 7,800,000 or 60,000 United States dollars. I remember there was an outcry from most of our clients saying we need the threshold in United States dollars. So now we have got a threshold in United States dollars of 60,000. And for those who are trading purely in Zimbabwean dollars, the threshold with effect from 1 January 2022 is 7.8 million. Then for those who are going to be registered in category C, the threshold is now 31,200,000 or 240,000 United States dollars. Then the prescribed invoice threshold is now 1.3 RTGS or $10. Then the VAT refund threshold now 7.8 or 60 United States dollars. I'm sure you understand when we say the VAT refund threshold, whereby we are saying you can claim the amount if it reaches that amount. Anything below that, we cannot process the refund. This is in accordance with the amendment of Finance Act number 7, which was also gazetted. Then in support to the domestic tourism, in 2020 and 2021, during this pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, the accommodation and tourism services offered to domestic tourists were exempted from value-added tax. So SI 193 of 2020, which exempted VAT on accommodation offered to domestic tourists, expired on 31st of July 2021. And this exemption was extended with effect from 1 August 2021 for a further 12 months. But SI 87 of 2021, which exempted tourism services offered to domestic, is still operational and will expire on the 25th of February 2022. So in the budget statement for 2022, the Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Professor Mutuli Ncube, extended the exemption of accommodation and tourist services to 31st July 2022. The relevant statutory instruments shall be gazetted in due course. And we are pretty sure that the SI will combine SI 193 and SI 187. Then we move on to another act, which is the Revenue Authority Act. Remember, in the prior years, when you supply information to ZIMRA, you were rewarded for that. But the reward for information facility was suspended indefinitely with effect from 1 December 2021. So all citizens can continue to voluntarily report on anyone not paying tax, but will not be paid for the information provided. This was also done through the Finance Act number 7. Then on tax clearance certificates, no tax clearance certificates shall be issued to a registered operator who is not fiscalized and whose fiscalized devices are not interfaced with the ZIMRA server. The other general conditions that payments and returns must be up to date should be compiled with. So I'm sure most of us as clients, we've realized that if you are not fiscalized, you will not get a tax clearance. So this is among some of the reasons why probably your tax clearance might not have been sent to your email, or you might not have accessed it via the portal. So the other conditions that you need to satisfy is the payments must be up to date, the returns must be up to date, and also the new thing on the block, which is the master data. When we move on to manner of giving notices and serving documents under the Revenue Acts, the new section gives direction on the manner in which documents can be served to taxpayers by the authority. The following are some of the ways in which documents can be served to taxpayers. So there was this amendment whereby if you are giving you a notice or we are serving you with documents, how it can be done. So it's by hand delivery to the person being notified, or to a responsible person at the residential address or place of business of the person being notified. So you realize that the ZIMRA officers can actually drive to your premises and serve you with a notice or give you the instruction. Then by delivery to the address of the person being notified through a commercial courier service, maybe through DHL, FedEx, or any other courier. Then by delivery through electronic mail or other electronic means to the electronic address of the person being notified, might be through an email or any other electronic means that can be used. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you all for listening to this presentation where we were trying to update each other on the changes in the various tax acts. I give the floor to MNJ, probably to Mr. Nyazungu, to take a lead on the question and answer session. I'm sure Mr. Chigwanda is in, Mr. Nau, I can see him, Ruramai is in, and I'm sure I've got a team from fiscalization. So in assisting me to demystify your questions, I'm surrounded by my elders, and we'll try and answer your questions. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Nyasungu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chirangaza, for that presentation. I hope it was educative to our taxpayers and our clients. Thank you once again, Mr. Chigwanda, for joining us. Madam Ruramai, Mr. or Mrs. Chirangwa, thank you for joining us. So I'll be taking questions from our hosts, and I will be actually, you feel free to send your questions, or you can actually raise your hand. Then you can ask. The ZIMRA panel is there, is here. What we want is hear from the host's mouth. Don't be misled by the mushrooming consultants. You can be given false information. The ZIMRA panel is available, so feel free to ask your questions. Don't be hesitant. Feel free to come with your several questions. We are here. So I'll take this question. It's from Mr. Felix Sibanda. He's saying, may you kindly clarify on withholding tax when one has pending invoices for the year 2021, which are being processed this year, which withholding tax rate is applicable? I don't know if that one is clear to you, Mr. Chirangaza or Mr. Chigwanda. Hello?
Yes, thank you so much for that question. But to prefer that, maybe we've got maybe 5 questions, Mr. Nyazungu, then we can answer them all.
That's okay. So let me just run down the questions on our chart. Number 1, what does withholding tax on contracts mean? Which contracts are we referring to? That is a question from Mr. Godwin Maposa. Then question, I hope you have jotted that one down. Then number 2, from Mr. Felix Fidelis Sibanda, I will repeat again. May you kindly clarify on withholding tax when one is pending invoices for the year 2021, which are being processed this year, which withholding tax rate is applicable? Then I'll go to question number 3. ITF 263, how far? E-services is forever down. It's killing us out here. That's anonymous attendee. Then on number 4, that's Madame Jocelyn Taiva. She's asking, can someone deregister if VAT threshold is not met? What is the procedure to do so? Then I'll take another question from my chart, from my question and answers. I think we can first address those questions, Mr. Knowledge.
Okay, thank you. The first question, I'm sure Mr. now can assist us on clarifying on withholding tax on pending invoices which are being paid in 2022, which were processed or in 2021. Mr. Now, please, can you assist us on that one? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Knowledge. Well, I think we can answer that question using section 8, subsection 2, where it clarifies that when a payee finishes the paying officer, so this is at the point of payment, that's when you finish the tax clearance. So this will be effected if the payment is to be effected in 2022, and you are finishing this tax clearance, the paying officer in 2022. Therefore, the rate which would to be used will be 30%, not 10%, although the invoices are still pending. Thank you very much. I think I've answered that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Now. On that one, I think it's very clear. Then I did not get question number 2, but I got question number 3, which says ITF 263, how far e-services is always down. I'm sure in this part, in my panel, I've got Mr. Gwanda from e-services to assist us on this one. Mr. Chigwanda, please, can you go ahead? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chirangaza. I'm sure, am I clear?
Very clear, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sure on the e-services platform issue, the first thing that I would want to allude to is the public notice number 111 of 2021, which alluded to the fact that all our taxpayers are supposed to update their tax information, that is email addresses, physical addresses, before the end of the year. Why? The reason was that currently ZIMRA is running an automatic generating system for all clients who are up to date with their tax affairs. So there is no human intervention there. The system is triggered every day, twice or thrice, to generate tax clearance to all compliant taxpayers. And the tax clearance is sent to the email address that is with us, with our records. If there is no email address, unfortunately, one can be compliant and and the tax clearance may be generated, but it may fail to get to the intended recipient because the information that we have is not up to date. So to most of the clients who are up to date, they are getting their tax clearance in their inboxes, as long as their information or their records are up to date with us. So the issue there is that once one is compliant, at any given time when the system is run, is supposed to issue them with a tax clearance. In instances where the information is not up to date and you have updated your information, we've got also a facility to resend your tax clearance through this application. That's the first maybe fallback measure that ZIMRA has put in place with regards to the congestion that was happening on the e-services platform. So in cases where you are saying you are failing to access the e-services platform, so we are saying as long as you are compliant, you are supposed to be getting your tax clearance in your inbox. You don't even need to log onto the e-services platform and apply for the tax clearance. So this is what is happening currently. This is what has happened during the 2022 era. So I'm sure we can have clients who have confirmed that, yes, ZIMRA is issuing two kinds of tax clearance. One that is auto-generated from SAP, which you can get even without applying as per the public notice. You are getting it in your inbox. And number two, suppose you fail to get it, you can also apply on the e-filing platform. As long as you are compliant, you are supposed to get your tax clearance. So I'm sure this is how I can answer this one. So we have got two kinds of tax clearances, the one that is auto-generated from SAP, and number two, suppose you have failed to get that one, still, as long as you have been given from SAP, when you apply online, automatically you're supposed to get your tax clearance. So we have got two options that you can safely use to get your ITF 263. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chigwanda, for that clarification. Mr. Knowledge, do we still have a question which has not been answered?
Yes, we still have got one more question with me here, which says, can someone deregister for VAT if not meeting the threshold? The answer is yes. You can deregister for VAT, but what do you need to do? You need to write to us explaining why you want to deregister for VAT and attach proof substantiating your claim that you are not now ineligible to be VAT registered through maybe a bank statement and a sales schedule. Then you can write an email to kurimavat@zimra.co.zw. I'll repeat, kurimavat@zimra.co.zw. Then you forward the email and its attachments to the respective offices. Thank you. I'm sure we can have another set of questions.
Welcome, Mr. Shrangaza. I'll get at other questions, then we'll actually allow our participants to go live. Let me just clear the questions which were raised prior to when you was presenting. Then I'm sure people are burning. They want to ask you questions. So I will just give you another set of questions. I will start, maybe Mr. Fidelis Sibanda, you can try to rephrase your question, or you can ask these guys directly. Feel free. So I'll go to Mr. Adam. Adam is saying, I cannot view my history, my submissions, and how will I know which returns are missing or outstanding payments? That's our question number one from Mr. Adam. Adam. Then another question is coming from Mr. Nigel. He's saying, sorry about that. I have missed the question. Okay, it's from Mr. Nadria. I hope I've pronounced that well. He's saying, I have a question regarding the ITF 16 reports. How do we submit if we paid salaries in both USD and RTGS? That's from Mr. Nadra. Then I've got another question from Mr. Nigel Kodzwa. He's saying, how do you update your master data with ZIMRA? Can you do it via the portal? Also, is the ZIMRA portal server down and failing to access? Then another question from Mr. Shem Banda. He is saying, registration with ZIMRA for new applicants seems to be a challenge on the portal. And when you then send copies on the emails, the response rates seem to be too long. Are you doing anything about the system? Then I'll take the 50th question from Mr. Naidra again. Good day. Please advise if we can claim input tax against the bills of entry imports done before December 2021. And how much time do we have to claim these? Those are the questions, Mr. Knowledge. Mr. Chirangaza, feel free to address your people, your clients. I hope this is going to be beneficial to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nyazungu. I think I'll combine the questions as I ask my colleagues here to answer them. The first question is, I can't view my history, and I'll combine that question with the registration of the portal is a challenge. I'll ask Mr. Chigwanda once again to answer those two questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Knowledge. If someone is unable to view their history and they want to know their account status, they can get hold of our management and compliance team on email addresses. I'm sure at the end of the session, when Mr. Rangaza is going to share the slide, he's going to give us, or he's going to update and give us email addresses where from various sections as far as our clients may need convenience in assistance. So I'm basically saying, Mr. Tungo, each Tungo at zimra.co.zw, Ingube, Epfania Ngube, Brenda Makuza, Miss Madambi, that's the team from debt management. Those ones, they can give client their account status in situations they are not able to view their history. So they will give them the actual ledger account for the client with regards to their returns and payments. That's the debt management and compliance team. Write to them, they can be able to assist you when you are not able to view a history to see which returns are in or not. The second one, I'm sure you'd realize, because of the congestion that is on the portal, everyone wants to get a tax clearance. The auto run for the tax clearance, where one is supposed to get the tax clearance from their inbox, was a way to ensure that we ease the pressure on the portal. This is now impacting also on clients that are doing the BP registration, actual registration online. So we are saying our teams in the registry are also the ones that do the manual capturing of business partner number. I'm sure there is an improvement now where we're saying they need to be, there is need to check on the turnaround time, because we have had, yes, sure, we have had that complaint from our clients that the manual way is taking a bit long, but now I'm sure it is, the turnaround time is now much shorter because of the manpower that is there. So we would apologize for those that had to wait a bit longer to get their business partner numbers when they applying manually. But definitely what I want to assure you, if you see that your BP number, which you submitted via the emails, has taken longer, please don't hesitate, get hold of us. We'll be able to assist and check the progress on the registration and make sure that you are saved. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chikwanda. I think it was self-explanatory there. We move on to another two set of questions on ITF's Christian reports for mount currency, that is for RTGS and United States dollars, which says how do I submit, and how do you do master data? Is it on the portal or not? At this juncture, I'll ask Ms. Ruramai Mukwenya to assist us on those two questions. Thank you.
Go ahead, Madam Rura. Is Madam Ruramai available to answer the questions?
Yes, she's available. Just hold on. I think she's having some challenges with a computer, so she will just use mine. Just hang on.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, I'm here. So the first question about master data, it's something that you cannot do on the portal. You have to do it, we do it internally from the side. So we are encouraging clients to send a form which is called a Rev2 form. You get that one from our website, which is www.zimra.co.zw. So you complete, you fill in your current information, the current details of your company, and then you submit that the Rev1 form to Mr. Chikwanda, M. Chikwanda at ZIMRA. fcap.co.zw or fcapfunde@zimra.co.zw, and then your account will be updated. So we do the master data from this side. You cannot do it on the portal. There is some information that you can do, but not all the information. So if you log into your portal, you go to profile details, and then you can add some information if you have updated, and then you submit. You have to approve it from this side, but we still encourage you to submit the Rev2 so that you can update all the information into your account. So that is disturbing some of the clients. They are not managing to get their tax clearance because of missing information. So we are encouraging you to submit those Rev2 forms so that you can be updated, up to date with your current information. And then about the ITF 16, can I just get a few minutes so that I confirm the email that is currently being used by the registry, and then I'll get back to you, Mr. Nyasung.
Thank you so much. We'll be waiting, Madam Ramai. I think there was also a question on ITF 16, which was, how do you submit it in USD and in Zim dollar in RTGS? I think the right question is, I have a question regarding the ITF 16 reports. How do we submit if you paid salaries in both USD and RTGS?
Sorry, Mr. Nasungu. Sorry, it was just a changeover of the headphones. I didn't get that.
I noticed.
Okay. You were saying the client is asking that they are trading in United States dollars and Zim dollars.
Yes,
So,
the salaries are given in USD and the RTGS.
Yes, so they are asking whether they should submit one ITF 16 or two ITF 16s, right?
Sure.
Yeah, pretty sure. They are supposed to submit two ITF 16, the one for United States dollars and the one for RTGS dollars. So they're supposed to do the two ITF 16s and submit them to ZIMRA for processing.
Thank you so much. I hope we have tackled all the questions that side.
I'm sure there's one left, if I'm not mistaken, about advice. I'm not sure. I didn't capture it very well. I'm not sure if you can repeat the last question about if we can claim input tax on bills of entry, something like that.
Okay. Thank you so much. They are saying, please advise if you can claim input tax against bills of entry, imports, in brackets, done before December 2021, and how much time do we have to claim these?
I'm sure on the bills of entry, you can claim input tax. Remember, it's not a fiscal tax invoice. It's not a tax invoice, different from the tax invoice. So that one, it's pretty clear that you can claim your input tax. Where there's a time frame is the tax invoice, where we want to phase out those tax invoices with the fiscal tax invoices. Remember, so on the bills of entries, you can claim them just like we used to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chirangasa. Thank you, the ZIMRA team, for answering this set of questions. We are now moving. I think if you're free, let us go live. We can give a chance for people who can't write sometimes because of where they are. Feel free to ask the questions, but I would urge you to also respect, and we just know that we are live here on Zoom. We've got over 100 participants, and on Facebook we also have over 100 participants. So bear with us, but feel free to raise your hand. Who is going to take maybe to ask live feel free to raise up your hand. If you've got someone who wants to ask live, okay, I think I've got someone who is available. Pardon me. Do we have someone? Yes, I think I have someone who is raising their hand. That's Mr. Nigel Kozwa. I'll allow you to talk. Feel free, Mr. Nigel. Go ahead, Mr. Nigel.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, a bit faint, Mr. Nigel.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, partially. I think you can go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My question is addressed to Mr. Chigwanda, who addresses the issues with the e-filing portal. I don't know, what can we do? What can you do to assist us get access to the e-portal? Because we are failing for the past 1 week. We don't know how to submit returns. Their offices are closed as well. So it's a very big challenge right now to access, to apply for 2022 tax clearance. Thank you.
Thank you. I think let me just also take a question from Mr. Godwin. He's also raising his hand. Mr. Godwin, I'm allowing you to talk. Feel free, sir. Go ahead. Mr. Godwin, Mr. Maposa.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me now?
We hear you live. Feel free, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to understand more on the withholding tax on contracts, to say which contracts are we referring to specifically?
Thank you so much. I hope that question is clear to this ZIMRA panel. Do we still have someone who is free to ask live and direct? We are live on Zoom. We are live on Facebook. Feel free to ask. As I'll be allowing Mr. Chirangaza to address these two questions. Mr. Chirangaza, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nyasingo. Before we address those two questions, remember there was a question on ITF 16 reports for mount currents on how do you submit them. Like I mentioned earlier on, there are two separate ITF 16s that have to be done. And you can submit them to fds@zimra.co.zw. That's the email that you are supposed to send those two ITF 16s. Then there was a question, I think this question was specifically for Mr. Chigwanda, if I'm not mistaken. So Mr. Chigwanda, can you take the first question? Then I'll ask Mr. Now to take the second question on which contracts are we referring to specifically when you say withholding tax on contracts. Thank you.
Thank you, Knowledge. We have got a dedicated team that was set aside to cater for return processing, where one is having challenges to submit them online. I'm sure I alluded to the fact that when we finish the workshop, email addresses are going to be availed where people are supposed to submit their returns via email if they're having challenges on submitting them on the portal. So one thing that I've noticed, this team is not spending over 24 hours without processing the return. So the moment you send your return to those email address, it is captured manually in the system. And once it's captured manually in the system and your account is up to date, I also alluded to the fact that an auto run is done at interval periods to ensure that clients get their tax clearances in their email addresses. So one thing that I'm sure of is I've actually had a typical example of a client who submitted their returns via the emails, and the returns were captured and they got their tax clearance within the same day. So I'm saying there is a team that sits in the return processing who are responsible for receiving those returns from the email and process them. They capture them. Some are working from home and some are at the office. And this is done normally. I'm sure if the manager for return process was also in this platform, was going to confirm with me that they normally do not leave office without attending to all these returns that would have come during the day. So once they are captured and you got from debt management that they are the ones that are missing, your account will be up to date. And when the auto run is done, you're supposed to get your tax clearance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chigwanda. Over to you, Mr. Chirangaza. Is there any other question which you have jotted down?
Yes, there was a question on contracts. I'm not sure if Mr. Nawi is online. He can go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chirangaza. Well, to answer the question that has been posed by Mr. Maposa, we can say all withholding taxes that have been affected, or the withholding tax change for 30% is affected by only affects Section 80 of the Income Tax Act. So from Section 80, that's where we find the definition of a contract that affects such a withholding tax. And we can also say from the Finance Act number 7, which was emanating from the budget, it also amended the definition of a contract. So the contract is the one which guides, this definition is the one which guides all withholding taxes, and which includes, I'll just read it from the section and the change. Now say the contract means in terms of which a state or a statutory body, quasi-government institute, a registered tax is obliged to pay. So from here, the contract is now being divided as good. If we are a registered operator and we are required to pay, there comes and kicks in the withholding tax from Section 8. So from the definition, there was a change in aggregate of the withholding tax amount, whereby a certain amount, if we reach a certain amount, we'll now start withholding that withholding tax. So the definition is on Section 80, and the amended is also in the Finance Act, which Mr. Knowledge will share. So this definition guides all withholding taxes which are affected with the change of 30%. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Nau. Over to you, Mr. Nyazungu. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll also take some questions which are on our chat. The first question is, will we get proof of submission for ITF 16? That's the first question. And second question, may you please repeat that emails? It was a bit fast for assistance. I hope what we're going to do, we're going to receive all this information from Mr. Chirangaza, and I'll also send the presentation on your emails. So you can just send maybe your emails on my direct number, which is 0719 382 136. I'll also write it on our chats, 0719 382 136, so that you can get the emails from the ZIMRA team. Then I also have another question. What tax rates apply to sitting allowances for board members? And then another question from Mr. Adam. How do you submit a VAT return with VAT withholding tax? Sorry about that. I think I've lost this question. Sorry, how do you submit a VAT return with VAT withholding tax, as the portal does not have a line for VAT withholding tax? That's another question. And then we've got another question from Madam Messi Ngube. Due to lockdowns, working from home, etc., we have been sending our withholding tax remittance and POPs via emails. This means we did not get this stamped by ZIMRA, and there are no responses, is that sufficient? The remittance is not being stamped by ZIMRA. I hope that is clear. I think they just want to ask about the POPs and remittances which were not stamped by ZIMRA. Then I've got another question from Mr. Solomon Goredema. May ZIMRA explain the procedure to apply for BP number and tax clearance for consultants who operate as sole trader, and who do we approach in case we fail to secure a tax clearance? I think for now we can take those questions and probably take 2 or 3 more people from our panel. Then we call it a day. Mr. Chirangaza, over to you.
All right, thank you. The first question was, do you get proof of receipt when you submit your ITF-16? I'm sure if you send your ITF-16 on FDS Harare, there is no receipt. That one I can confirm, but it will be processed because all the emails that they receive, they will process. It's different from prior years, whereby someone will be given a receipt after submitting the discs or the information with regards to ITF-16s. But what I can assure you is once you submit your email, it will be processed. Then the other issue was to repeat the email. Let me take you back a little bit. Remember, this was gazetted in the public notice 6 of 2021. If you can just lay hands on it, probably you can just search for it, but I will just repeat the email as well, which is fdsharare@zimra.co.zw. I'll repeat it again, fdsharare@zimra.co.zw. Just like what Mr. Nyazungu said, we're going to share with him all the information that's necessary for you to get. We're going to email the Finance Act number 7 of 2021. We're also going to email him these emails that we are sharing with you and the phone numbers. And we're also going to share the slides for this presentation. Then there was another question on how do you submit a VAT return with VAT withholding tax. I'm sure if you are facing challenges in submitting it on the portal, if there is no column to that effect, then you need to submit a manual return. I'm sure there are emails where you are supposed to submit the returns with regards to VAT, pays, UN, income tax. I'm sure if you visit, I'm not sure of the public notice, but I'll also share with you the emails where you can send the returns. Then there was another question whereby someone was saying due to lockdown, we've been working from home and we've been sending returns and they are not being stamped by ZIMRA. Let me hasten to say, we are living in an abnormal environment. This is the new normal, if you want to put it that way. Sometimes we are trying to move away from the paper. We want a paperless office. That's why we've got an e-services a platform where you can actually submit your return without even coming to our offices, without even getting it stamped by ZIMRA. So you realize that you can actually submit your return and check on my history. Once it says committed, then it's actually in the ZIMRA system. So we at our reception, we are not even stamping, we are not even accepting returns, to be precise. So what you can do is on the public notice that I'm going to send, you can just send those returns and verify, or you can contact your liaison officer so that you can get a statement. Or I'm sure Mr. Chigwanda has shared the emails for the people responsible who can share with you your ledgers, so that you can check which returns are in and which returns are not in, so that you can submit those ones which are outstanding. But when it comes to stamping of returns, we as ZIMRA, we are not accepting any manual returns due to COVID-19. So for now, just contact your liaison officer or the emails that you were given earlier on, then you get your ledger, then you update your accounts. Then on the last question, Mr. Nyazungu, you can just repeat it, then I'll try and answer it. Thank you.
Okay, I think there's another question. Yes, there's Kudakwa Shedanda on Facebook, on our Facebook platform. He's saying, how do we access liaison officers via emails? I think what she just wanted to say was, how are we able to access our liaisons? I think that one we've actually said we are going to send all the information to the participants via our email platform, and educate each other about things which were being taught by the ZIMRA officers. Do we still have another question, or someone wants maybe to contribute directly? Maybe I'll take probably 2 before we shut it down. As you know, that the people who are currently in this platform are the ones who are also supposed to assist us with getting tax clearances. I think I've got Madam, there's someone who is available on live. Let me just add you so that you talk to the ZIMRA guys directly. Just hold on a bit. Sorry about that. I'm facing a bit of challenges here. Let me just add someone for you to contribute live with the ZIMRA guys. Yeah, it's clear. Madam Sheila Mahachi, I'm adding you. Feel free to contribute. Madam Sheila, you can go. Madam Shelly, sorry about that. Sorry about that. It's Madam Shelly Mahachi. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We are grateful for the services that are being rendered by ZIMRA. I've seen commendable improvement still on the e-portal from the time they started to where we are right now. And I just wanted to thank them for that. And I know there's always room for improvement, but other than the times that the system is down, we are able to navigate by yourself, you know, and even the teams at ZIMRA, they are very responsive. They've been very, very responsive. Our organization is new in Zimbabwe, but the registration process was done through the assistance. We didn't have any challenges. So we thank you, ZIMRA. Please keep it up.
Wow, welcome, Madam. Thank you so much, the ZIMRA guys. Thank you so much, Madam, for that positive compliment. We really appreciate that. And I think I'll also take another one. I don't know if the ZIMRA guys would also want to respond to this compliment. I think you guys are used to get criticism all over the place. I think this is a positive compliment from one of our participants, Mr. Chirangaza.
Actually, if you were here, you could have seen the smiles on their faces. Everyone is just smiling for the positive compliment from the client. Because usually we get criticism from the clients, your system is down and all this other stuff. But we are making efforts to try and make it user-friendly. I'm sure we'll try by all means to be more responsive than what we were, and we'll try to abide by our motto, we are here to serve. Thank you so much. We want to thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'll add Mr. Benson to also contribute. Mr. Benson, go ahead. You can ask your question. You can take a shot to ZIMRA, guys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. So mine is with regards to the withholding tax. So let's say, for an instance, for a company which has probably made an assessed loss in a particular year, but at the moment they haven't been able to get hold of their tax clearance. So you find out that probably our customers will be withholding the 30%. So my question is the 30% withholding tax transferable, both probably who have just pay and VAT to pay in a particular year, or it just stands and also comes to add on the assessed loss come year end for a client?
Thank you so much. I hope that question was clear, Mr. Knowledge. Whilst Mr. Benson is still here, you can answer him.
Thank you so much for that question. I'm sure, yes, it was very clear. What I want to say is the withholding tax is not transferable, but I'm not sure about adding to the assessed loss, but what I can say is, like I said, I'm surrounded by my elders. I'll ask Mr. Now to add on that one, but I'm sure it can be added to the assessed loss. Remember, the withholding tax, you claim it on the ITF 16 when you are doing your ITF 12C. When you are doing your ITF 12C, that's where you allow it. But I'm sure Mr. Now will add on that one. Mr. Now, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Knowledge Chirangaza. Well, I would say withholding tax, after being issued with a withholding tax certificate, and you have been withheld that amount is more like a prepayment of a tax to us. So after assessment of your income tax returns, there comes the withholding tax, being an amount you have already paid to ZIMRA because you have been granted that certificate to us. So this amount, either you can claim it as a refund through the income tax after assessing the assessment for that year, or transferable for the next year, like how you transfer your losses to the following year as a prepayment you have made to ZIMRA. I'm yet to confirm the positions, how we are treating them now. That you are submitting your income tax returns online and the assessments are all online. But previously we used to do them this side after assessing your income tax returns, then would grant you those credits, that withholding tax, and would therefore the client had the choice to claim his refund or to be transferred. So we had to confirm, maybe if you can get details from Mr. Chirangaza that we can confirm the position now that all assessments are being done online. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nau, for that answer. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I think, yes, we still have questions. Feel free to send the questions on my email. I'll be also adding my email on the chat. You can also send those emails directly to me or directly to the ZIMRA team, or also even on my direct WhatsApp number, so that the ZIMRA guys can help us with addressing some of the pending questions or some of the follow-up questions. And I promise, as M&J, we'll be bringing more programs to do with taxation in future, so that we become friendly with our ZIMRA guys. I know most of the people are afraid of ZIMRA. When you talk of ZIMRA or taxation to any entrepreneur, they start to be jittery. ZIMRA, they are here to save us. They are servants of us, the clients. So feel free. ZIMRA is available to assist. Yes, they can encounter challenges. It's normal. We are in the COVID-19. Things are difficult. We are also operating in a difficult economy, but these guys, they've stood out. And as SMEs, as companies which also contribute to the fiscus, we are the only ones who can actually make Zimbabwe great again. And SMEs, all the companies, you have been doing wonders during COVID-19. It's not easy to survive. during this hard period. So I'll give this opportunity to the ZIMRA team to also say goodbye to our audience, and you can also maybe feel free to contribute whatever you want to contribute or what you want to tell your clients. Thank you so much. I am Jerry Nyazungu, the chartered vendor. I also have a book which is helping entrepreneurs in actually building their business. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Chirangaza.
Thank you so much. Let's give Mr. Charangwa, one of our elders, to just give a vote of thanks to our clients. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nyazungu and your team for this fruitful workshop. And also thank you to the ZIMRA team for tackling all the questions in the presentation. And also to our clients, thank you for participating. We are open for business. You can still continue communicating with us through emails if you have any other issues that you want us to clarify. And also thank you for paying your taxes on time and in full. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Chirangaza.
Thank you. We'll meet in our next webinars. Thank you so much, Team MNJ. And
thank
God
you
bless.
so much. So let us continue with the conversation. Even on my Facebook, it's Jerry Nyazungu. On Twitter, it's Jerry Nyazungu. On Instagram, it's Jerry Nyazungu. Even on TikTok, I'm also there, it's Jerry Nyazungu. Let us continue with this conversation. Taxes are the ones which are actually building our roads. Taxes are the ones which are actually paying our civil servants. We are getting our electricity from our taxes. We should contribute to the fiscus. Thank you everyone for participating. Until next time, bye-bye for now.
Thank you, bye. Oh.